Let's get new stream going. Get it up on my tablet. Okay, here we go. Who said that? Asked Tails through the thin air. Who told me to dig further down? But he does until his paws hit something cold and solid, a sheet of solid ice under the snow. He can feel it shaking as something very large hits it. And then there is a cracking noise, and it splits. The snowbank shakes and falls into the freezing water that wells up from underneath, and Tails finds himself in bright sunlight, sitting on a chunk of ice drifting out to sea, away from the main land. Tails stands up and looks around. He can see a group of small creatures at the edge of the land. They're wearing thick coats and brandishing weapons at a large shape that moves slowly under the water towards them. Suddenly it surfaces, throwing a huge splash of water into the air. Tails can see that it is a shark. The sunlight reflecting off the snow may be playing tricks with his eyes, but it looks like it's made entirely from metal. Does Tails jump back towards the shore or stay on the ice floe?
Sure.
Okay. 22. There isn't much space for a run-up, but Tails sprints to the edge and jumps off into the air. A gray shape leaps out of the water and the metal shark's jaws clash shut millimeters below his feet. Tails yelps, but manages to land safely on the main ice field as the shark splashes back into the sea. The figures wave to him and cheer. Should Tails look for a teleporter device or attack the shark?
Can we have some fun?
Okay, we can attack the shark.
Thank you.
268. Tails dashes across the ice, spinning like a gyroscope, and smacks into the side of the shark. With a metallic roar, it drops the monkey it was holding and turns to snap its huge jaws at the furry fighting fox. Tails will use his speed to fight the shark. It has a rating of 12, but Tails can add 1 point for each of the monkeys who are also fighting it. There are 4 of them, so his attack is his speed plus the die roll plus 4. If the shark hits him, roll the die again. On a 1, 2, or 3, Tails is hit and loses all his rings, or if he has no rings left, loses a life. Cross it off his vital statistics and turn back to 123. On a 4, 5, or 6, one of the monkeys is hit and knocked out of the fight. Don't add a point for a monkey once it's been knocked out. If Tails and the monkeys defeat the shark, it sinks into the water and disappears. Okay, so Tails' speed, we gave Tails 3 speed. There are 4 monkeys, so we need a 5. 3. Okay, now we roll for the shark. 3, so Tails is hit and loses all his rings. Let's try this again. 6. Okay, we hit the shark.
Yeah.
If Tails and the monkeys defeat the shark, it sinks into the water and disappears. Turn to 42. 42. The monkeys crowd around Tails and thank him. You were excellent, they say. You're as good as people say. We wish we could see Sonic in action, too. Well, this is sort of a solo mission, says Tails. You haven't seen Sonic, then? No, says one of the monkeys. We haven't seen much since we woke up this morning. Only the snow and ice everywhere. It's very confusing. What does Tails ask the monkey? Where are we? Who are you? Or have you seen a Chaos Emerald?
Where are we?
Okay, 158. The monkeys look at him. This, believe it or not, says one of them, gesturing at the surrounding snow and ice, is the hilltop zone. Snow started falling late last night. When we woke up today, it was like this. We split up to find food, shelter, and other survivors, but now we can't even find the others. Then that shark thing attacked. Will you help us, Mr. Tails? Interrupts the smallest monkey. We're very cold and hungry, and we're fans of you and Sonic especially. Will Tails agree to help them, refuse, or ask them if they have seen a Chaos Emerald?
Of course we're gonna help them.
94.
That's what we do.
Yep. Of course I'll help, agrees Tails. Any hero would. He sets off towards a mountain peak that looms in the distance, with a mighty glacier making a frozen path to its summit. Tails points to it. That's the easiest way up, he says. From the mountaintop we'll get the best view to look for your friends. They set off through the drifting snow and wind. Meanwhile, back in the warmer climate of Scrapbrain City, Sonic is hot and bothered. He's surrounded by sharp sword points, with 3 very angry animals holding them. One is a large badger, the second is a tall bird wearing glasses, and the third is a young dog, almost a puppy with pointed ears. Sonic notices a pile of papers on the table, titled Secret Outcast Plans, and he realizes that he must have fallen into a meeting of outcast spies. What's worse than that, he knows one of them is an agent for the cats who run the city. Who are you? Asks the badger in a low, slow voice. What does Sonic reply? I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, who are you? I'm nobody in particular, just passing through, or I'm a spy for the outcasts.
No consequence.
Okay. 54. Nobody, eh? Says the badger. And you just happened to drop in on our secret meeting, I'm sure. I think you've been eavesdropping for ages, listening to our plans. In fact, I think you're one of Galen's spies sent to catch us. The 3 back away, while Sonic fight them, say that he's Sonic the Hedgehog, or claim he's a spy for the outcasts.
Sonic the fucking Hedgehog, dude.
195. Sonic the Hedgehog? Says the bird. Not the Sonic the Hedgehog, defender of the Green Hill Zone, savior of the planet Mobius. The Sonic the Hedgehog who runs around with that cute cuddly fox? Asked the dog, putting away his sword. I'm a big fan of his. I mean, yours. I've never heard of you, mutters the badger. You have disrupted our meeting. Same time tomorrow, everyone. He starts tidying papers. Don't mind him, says the bird. He's always grouchy. I'm number 2, and my friend, he points to the dog, is number 3. You're number 4. I'd rather be Sonic, says Sonic. Who's number 1? You are number 4, the bird says sternly. Number 1 is the badger. We are outcast agents. The rest of the outcasts live in the desert. Galen and the cats won't let them enter the city, so we sneaked in to prepare for an invasion. Sonic knows that one of the group is a spy for Galen, but he knows that if he chooses wrongly, he'll be talking to the spy. Who does he talk to? Number 1, number 2, number 3, or does he ask what their plans are?
Oh, there you go. That.
Ask the plan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 101.
The plan for Cusco. Cusco's plan. That was funny.
The 3 spies turn to look at him. Can we trust him? Asks number 1. Of course, he's Sonic the Hedgehog, answers number 3. Besides, what are the chances of this plan working? 0, zilch, nothing. Something always goes wrong, it can't hurt to tell him. After all, adds number 2, Galen probably knows exactly what we're planning. Okay, number 4, listen up. Scrapbrain City is powered by the Chaos Emerald, kept in the high tower. It's closely guarded, but our technical expert, that's me, thinks that if we can isolate the emerald, we can cut off the power to the city. Then we set off a flare, which is a signal to the outcasts in the desert to attack. We don't want to take over the city or kill all the cats, we just don't think it's fair that they should keep all the power and luxury for themselves, while we're stuck out in the desert with nothing. How are you going to get into the high tower? Asked Sonic. I haven't worked that out yet, says number 2. With Galen's spy around, as soon as I have the plan, he'll know it, so I was leaving that until the last moment. Will you help us? Does Sonic agree to help, or does he say that this is the most harebrained scheme he's ever heard?
Well, I might go with harebrained.
All right, 79. Get out of here, says Sonic. That is the most harebrained scheme ever. It's so harebrained that no hair with half a brain would have anything to do with it. I'll get my Chaos Emerald back on my own. Wait, says number 2, you don't understand. If the cats are getting power from both chaos symbols, they'll exceed the proximity effect and overload the... He is too late. Sonic leaves the room into the darkness outside. He bumps into something solid and furry. What on... he says. Sonic has covered his face with a cloth smelling of chemicals. Sonic tries to breathe and passes out.
Only it works that fast.
When he comes round, he's in a cell. Number 2 and number 3 are staring glumly at him. What happened? Asks Sonic. The secret cat police grabbed us, says number 3. They threw us in here and took number 1 away. They may be torturing him. Or he might be the one who told him where we were, says number 2. We can't sit here, says Sonic. Someone has to tell the outcasts in the desert what's going on, and I volunteer. Help me get out of here. What should Sonic do? Search the cell, ask number 2 and number 3 we are carrying, or bang on the cell door? Now, I remember last time we tried this book, it kept saying if you have a rope, you can lasso it. What if asking them what they're carrying is how we get the rope?
That's a good question.
Because I've yet to see any other opportunity to get a fucking rope. Get a rope. Okay, let's see. Ask what they're carrying. 105. Turn out your pockets, Sonic demands. The other 2 do as they're told, and Sonic watches as they produce the contents. What's this? He asks. That's a copy of the key to the city gates, answers number 3. Next to it is a lucky talisman given to me by the chief of the outcasts. You can have both of them. If Sonic wants either or both of the items, write them down in his vital statistics. Is that it? He asks. We were searched before they threw us in here, says number 3. All we have is a closed ring. Oh, wait. From around his waist, he unwinds the length of thin rope. I use it as a belt, he explains. And I've got 1 gold ring in my pocket. Take it for good luck. If Sonic should search the cell next, turn to 727, or if he should bang on the door, turn to 278. Okay, so we now have a key, a talisman, and a rope.
Okay.
I almost wrote roar.
And a roar. Okay.
And 1 more gold ring.
Woohoo.
Hell yeah, woohoo. Search the cell, 27. The cell is like the one Sonic was in before, with a stone floor and 1 window set too high to see out of. There's a bed made of planks laid on piles of bricks, covered with a single blanket. In the middle of the ceiling is a large hook. Nothing is hanging from it, it's just there. Sonic and the others check every stone and brick, but there are no secret ways out of the cell. Sonic can ask the other 2 what the other 2 are carrying, turn to 105, bang on the cell door. Alternately, if he has decided how he wants to escape, he can try the following. Lasso the hook in the ceiling if he has a rope, make a seesaw catapult with the planks and bricks, climb up to the window, or overpower the guard outside the cell. We're gonna lasso the hook. Now that we have a damn rope, we're gonna lasso the hook.
One job.
Sonic takes the rope, makes a loop on one end, and throws it towards the ceiling. After 3 tries, it lands on the hook, and Sonic climbs up until he's level with the window. It has bars on it, but he can see out. Can you get out of the window? Shouts number 3. Sonic tries to reach the windowsill, but it's too far. He can't swing the rope enough to get to it, and he knows he can't jump far enough. Disheartened, he climbs down. I've got an idea, says number 2. Sonic can take his advice, or he can try one of his own plans. Build a seesaw catapult from planks, overpower the guard, or climb the walls, or we can ask number 2 his idea.
Ask number 2 his idea. Let's be nice.
Okay, 201. Number 2 shakes the rope loose. If you can loop the middle of the rope over the hook, you can hold on to the loop while number 3 and I pull you up to the window. You'll be able to swing across it that way. Sonic nods. It doesn't explain how we'll get through the bars on the window, he says, but it's a start. Looping the rope over the hook takes ages, but eventually it slips over. Number 2 and number 3 haul on the rope, lifting Sonic up until he is level with the window. He starts to sway the rope, slowly at first, and then more and more until finally he grabs the bars on the window. He's there. Turn to 5.
Okay.
Sonic is standing on the ledge by the cell window. Outside is the city, bathed in the early evening sunlight. But unfortunately, there are strong iron bars in the way. To bend the bars far enough for him to squeeze his hedgehog body through, Sonic must roll on the strength to beat an 8. If he makes the roll, turn to 242. If he fails, the bars are too strong and he falls back into the cell exhausted. He lands on the seesaw plank, snapping it in two. Now he can't try that trick again. Should he climb the walls of the cell? Overpower the guard? Okay, so let's see. See, we gave Sonic strength of 3, and we need to roll so it totals into 8. 4. Fuck. Okay, so he fails, the bars are too strong, and he falls back, snapping the seesaw in half. We didn't even make the seesaw, but we can't do that anymore now. Although it still says, if he has some rope, lasso the hook and say, we tried that. That's how we got here. I guess we have to overpower the guard. 133. There's one problem with overpowering the guard. The solid door between him and Sonic. The hedgehog hammers on it, a little trap door in it slides open, and an ugly guard peers in. I don't want any trouble from you, says the guard, or I'll show you real trouble. Now shut up, I'm trying to get some sleep. The trapdoor slides shut. What now? Sonic can attract the guard's attention again, climb the wall towards the window, make a seesaw catapult on the planks and bricks of the bed, or if he has a rope, try to lasso the hook in the ceiling. Attract his attention again. That's number 68. What can we do, says Sonic. If he opens the doors, I might be able to dash past him. He turns to number 2. Pretend you're really ill, he whispers. Number 2 looks at him quizzically, then starts moaning and groaning. My stomach, it hurts. There's a rattling sound from the door. What's going on, demands the ugly guard, appearing in the entrance. You must be fit for your execution, so if you're sick... He steps forward and Sonic darts between his legs and into the corridor, running as fast as he can. He hurtles along corridors and down any stairways that don't lead to dead ends. Finally, he dives through a door to find himself in an alley outside the prison. Turn to 91. The city is darkening as evening falls. There aren't many people around on the streets, but Sonic knows that if he's seen, he'll be captured and thrown into an even more secure cell, so he must be careful. Should Sonic sneak through the shadows towards the city gates? Should he dash through the streets to the gate as fast as possible? Or should he search for the Chaos Emerald in the city? We have a key this time. We can unlock the damn gate.
Okay, fine.
Sneak through the shadows. 154.
Owie.
Sonic reaches the gate. It's a metal barrier with a keyhole on one side. In front of it, 2 guards are talking about the new Chaos Emerald, which Sonic overhears has been linked to the city's power system. If he has the key, he can sneak past the guards and unlock the gate. Turn to 121. We're going to do that.
Okay.
Roll on Sonic's agility to beat a 7 to sneak past the guards. If he makes a roll, turn to 192. If not, turn to 205. We gave him an agility of 4, so we only need to roll a 3 or higher. 4. Okay, so we turn to 192. The key turns in the lock. Sonic pushes hard against the gate and it opens just far enough for a slim hedgehog to slip out. The desert outside is dark and Sonic can see the constellations spread out across the sky. Above the horizon, a single bright star winks. In another direction, Sonic can see the faint lights of campfires in the desert dunes. Should Sonic head towards the campfires or follow the star?
Oh, star.
Okay, turn to 58.
Let's be biblical today.
You and your bibble.
Hey, not my Bible. I didn't bring it.
Before long, Sonic sees a cluster of tents between the sand dunes. There are no lights or fires, no sign of an oasis or a well, and no movement. Does he scout around the outside of the camp or walk boldly into the middle?
Do you really think he's gonna be calm?
True. Walk boldly into the middle.
Mm-hmm.
172. I overshot it.
Not touching it.
The camp seems deserted as Sonic strides between the tents. It's very eerie, as if the inhabitants of the camp have just disappeared. Sonic bends down to pick up a gold ring poking out of the sand. Write it down. Okay. Sonic has 25 rings. And the flaps of the tents fly open as warriors with swords leap out. In an instant, he's surrounded. "Don't move, cat spy," says one. Meanwhile, in the hilltop zone, "Hey, that's not fair," Sonic shouts. "It starts getting exciting and you leave me in the lurch. Come back!" Turn to 125. From the heat of the desert to the cold of the hilltop zone, Tails and his friends have traveled far up the glacier towards the top of the mountain. The monkeys are getting tired in their heavy overcoats, but Tails, with his furry coat, leads them onwards and upwards. Finally, the monkeys cannot continue. "Stop!" they shout. "We have to rest. This flat place looks perfect." "Wait!" shouts Tails. "That could be snow covering a..." But it's too late. The first monkey throws himself onto the snow. There's a cracking noise. The snow slips away and the monkey starts to slide down into a crack in the ice. "A crevice," finishes Tails. Should he dash and grab the monkey before it falls into the depths, or should he wait before helping?
No, you catch it. What good is help if you wait?
Part of me kind of wants to know why they even gave us that option.
Okay, well,
Tails dashes to the edge and leaps into the air, trying to catch the monkey by the collar of its coat. Roll on his speed to beat a 9. If he makes it, 139. If he fails, 226. And we gave Tails a speed of 3, so we need to roll a perfect 6.
we did not roll a perfect 6, did we?
3.
That is not. That's half a perfect 6.
Yeah,
Quick, roll another one.
226. Tails leaps into the air and grabs the young monkey by the collar of its coat. The collar rips in two and Tails lands beyond the crevice as the monkey slides away, down into the blue, green, gray depths of the ice. The other monkeys cluster on the other side of the crevice, watching. A few seconds later, the monkey hits the bottom and stands up. It isn't hurt, but it can't get out either. The other monkeys look at Tails. "Well," asks one, "you're the hero, you get him out." Tails can climb down into the crevice, or use his two tails like a helicopter rotors to fly down. Well, obviously, we're using his two tails
Yeah.
to fly down. 115. Wait. That might not be the best idea.
What?
Well, think about it. In every game, Tails can only fly for so long.
That's true.
So it might be smarter to climb down and then use the tails to fly up.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see. Climb down, turn to 28.
Okay.
Tails and the small monkey are at the bottom of the crevice. Far above, the sky is a thin blue line between the ice walls. "Are we stuck?" asks the monkey. "Not if I can help it," Tails says. "What would Sonic do?" "I don't know, but I think we should ask the reader's advice," says the monkey. Quite right, too. Should Tails climb out of the crevice with the monkey on his back, or walk along the bottom of the crevice to see where it leads?
All those times people work so hard to get the monkey off their back.
I was kind of hoping it would let us just fly out. Okay, I guess we're gonna climb out of the crevice with the monkey.
I guess.
183.
What am with that face? What am with that pussy face?
The monkey climbs onto Tails' back, and the fox starts to climb the ice wall of the crevice. It's hard going, and the weight of the monkey makes it harder. Roll on Tails' agility to beat a 6. If he makes the roll, he clambers out of the crevice. Turn to 41. If he fails, then the ice wall is just too slippery for him, and he slides back down to the bottom where he can either use his tails as a helicopter to carry both of them out, or walk along the crevice to see where it leads. Why was... I guess we're rolling on agility. We gave Tails agility of 4, so we only need to roll a 2. 4.
Yay.
We made it. Turn to 41.
I'm listening. I just gotta get some stuff in here.
Tails and the rescued monkey stare across the crevice and the others, stranded on the other side. Can you jump that gap? He asked them. Not a chance, the monkeys reply. We're exhausted. We could jump back, says Tails, but we have to get to the top of the mountain, and only we two are on the right side of that. On the right side for that. We'll keep going. You see if you can find some shelter or some food. He and the monkey set off up the glacier. Don't worry, we'll be okay. What's your name, young lad? Mildred, says the monkey, and I'm not a lad. If you paid more attention, you'd notice that. Like you might have noticed that weird plant ahead of us. It is a weird plant. Its twisted stem sticks out of the snow and divides it into 6 branches. 3 of them have orange flowers and big fleshy petals, and the other 3 dive back into the snow. The plant shudders, as if it were shivering. Should Tails and Mildred investigate it or avoid it?
I'm sorry. Shivering, shuddering, moving plants? Feed me, Seymour.
Avoid it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. 111. Tails and Mildred walk around the plant, watching it. It quivers and shakes harder if they get near. What is it? Asks Mildred. I've never seen anything like it before, Tails replies. It could have come with the snow. Or if there's a chaos symbol nearby, it could have changed it. Chaos is all about things becoming unpredictable and bizarre. Let's get closer, suggests Mildred. We can see if your theory is right. Does Tails agree, or do they carry on through the snow?
What do you think I'm gonna say?
Carry on through the snow?
Uh-huh.
Dashing through the snow with a big 2-tailed fox. 161. Mildred shrieks as a snowball whizzes past her, and she staggers into Tails, who falls over. The ground cracks and collapses, sending them plummeting downwards. They land in an underground ice chamber. At one side is a large humming machine. It reminds Tails of a huge fridge. On top of it is a teleporter, and connected to it by wires and cables is an orange Chaos Emerald. Tied around the fridge machine are 3 monkeys. Mildred squeaks with joy and is about to run over when Tails stops her. A dark shape comes lumbering in from a side chamber. It's 10 times as tall as Tails, with white tusks and a heavy coat. You might recognize it as a woolly mammoth, but Tails has never seen anything like it before. The mammoth stands in front of the fridge machine, as if on guard. Should Tails and Mildred attack the mammoth, free the monkeys, or make a dash for the Chaos Emerald and the teleporter?
Fuck it, make a dash.
Okay.
Run, Forrest, run!
17. Tails dashes towards the fridge machine. The mammoth turns, points its long trunk at him, and blows. A cloud of frozen icicles shoot out, whizzing through the air like darts. That's not fair, Tails complains. Nobody told me he could do that. He must roll against his agility to beat a 6 to dodge all the icicles. If he fails the roll, one of them hits him and he loses all his rings, or if he has no rings, a life, turned back to 125. If he dodges successfully, does he smash the fridge, attack the mammoth, or keep going for the Chaos Emerald? Well, we gave Tails agility of 4, so we only need to roll a 2 or higher.
Okay.
3. We win. So should we smash the fridge, attack the mammoth, or go for the Chaos Emerald?
That's a good question. Owie. Okay, you have to make the decision. My brain just broke.
I'm going to go for the Chaos Emerald.
Okay.
290. That's 297.
Ouch! Sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, son of a cow. Sorry. Sorry.
Tails can see the Chaos Emerald on top of the fridge machine glowing hotter and brighter as he dashes towards it. Suddenly there is a flash and 3 bolts of orange light streak out from it. One of them hits the woolly mammoth, which looks very surprised, turns bright orange and falls over. One of them just misses Tails, hitting the far ice wall and leaving a glowing orange mark. The last one hits Mildred. She stumbles for a second and stands up again, but her friendly monkey face has changed into a twisted orange visage of hatred. Mildred, are you okay? Asks Tails. Call me not Mildred, declares the mutated monkey. I am Dragonug, the eater of foxes, for so the emerald has made me. Now we fight. She attacks. Tails must use his speed to fight her, as she has a rating of 8. If he loses a life, turn back to 41. If he wins, Mildred's face suddenly relaxes back to its old form, and Tails puts her carefully on the ice. She'll be okay. Now, does he grab the emerald? Okay. So let's see. We need an 8 or higher. We gave Tails 3 speed, so we need to roll a 5 or 6. 6. Okay, so we win. She'll be okay. Does he grab the emerald or jump straight into the teleporter? I say grab the damn emerald.
Yes, please. Can I just get the upper thing and go?
215. Tails leaps on his machine and climbs toward the emerald. It fires 2 more bolts of light at him, and he must dodge them. Roll on his agility to beat a 6. Okay, we gave him 4 agility, so 2 or higher. 6. If he succeeds, he grabs the emerald from its cradle of cables, and you must turn to 47. So we're turning to 47. We got the emerald. The emerald is incredibly hot. Tails can feel the heat through his gloves, and he knows he has to get it away from the wires and cables around it as soon as possible. He dashes across and leaps towards the teleporter. There is a familiar flash of bright white light and a fazz. Turn to 277. Fazbear! The Fazbear Faz teleporter. Coming soon to a Pizzaplex near you. Leaving Tails in the middle of his trip by teleporter, we return to our hero Sonic, who right at this moment is being dragged toward a large tent in the center of the outcast camp. You could let me walk, he protests. It's more dignified. Dragging is traditional, replies the guard, tugging him into the tent and throwing him onto a large mat. Sonic looks up to find his way out, blocked by guards of all species with swords of all types. In front of him, in the middle of the tent, is a tall dog dressed in the white robes of the desert people, with a belt of gold around his waist. He bends down to look at Sonic. The hedgehog notices that the dog has pointed ears that remind him of someone else he has met recently. I am Ravis, leader of the outcast, he says, and you have come from the city to spy on us. No, I haven't, Sonic exclaims. I came here to warn you about what's happening in the city. Your spies have been captured. If you know what is happening in the city, you must be from there, interrupts the dog. And since all the city dwellers hate us, you must be an agent for them. Either you will tell us the truth, or we will torture it out of you. You will admit you are a spy, or die. What a conundrum. Does Sonic admit to being a spy even though he isn't, or let the outcast torture him?
It could be fun.
It could be fun.
I don't know. Well, what's torturous to a dog is not necessarily torturous to a hedgehog or a cat.
Okay.
So it's highly possible that they'll be in there howling or something, and he'll just be sitting there going.
Okay. Turn to 167. Torture me, says Sonic. I'll never admit I'm a spy because I'm not. You can break my body, but you can't break the truth. Good, says Ravis. He lifts Sonic off the floor. You have the spirit of a true hero. None of those who live in the city would ever be so brave. You said you knew what was happening in the city. Tell me all. Did you speak with my agents there? Quickly now, he demands. If Sonic shows number three's talisman to Ravis, 292. Otherwise, you can tell Ravis that his agents are in prison, turn to 32, or that there are 2 Chaos Emeralds on a high tower. Let's show him the talisman. 292, 292, 292, 292. Ravis takes the talisman from Sonic. This belongs to my son, he says, with emotion in his voice. He is one of our agents in the city. He clearly has great trust in you. Tell me everything. Sonic tells the Outcast leader everything about Galen, the two Chaos Emeralds, and the way the Outcast spies were betrayed by Number One. Ravis nods in understanding. That changes things, he says. We were going to attack the city tonight, but I must rethink our strategy. I will still lead our main assault on the front gates of the city, but you shall lead 6 of my elite warriors to the city's rear wall. Wait until we launch a flare into the sky, then climb the wall and head for the high tower. We will not win the battle unless you can get the Chaos Emeralds away from there. Will you do it? Sonic nods, and Ravis slaps him on the back. Excellent, fellow! Please have these 10 gold rings. Sonic takes them, write them down. So Sonic has 35 rings now. And Ravis continues. I will give you your weight in diamonds and bless you with many wives once we have won, he proclaims. Sonic politely refuses that offer, but goes outside to meet the warriors. Mark down 6 warriors on Sonic's vital statistics. Okay. 6 warriors. And turn to 119. The Outcast army is assembled outside. They are of all species and carry many different weapons, from swords to laser pistols, but Sonic can tell that behind their disordered appearance is a strength of spirit, and that makes them fearsome fighting force. Ravis introduces Sonic to the soldiers, who will be fighting alongside him. We are honored, they say. This will be the great-grandmother of all battles. Ravis gives a command, and the army starts the long march across the desert. Sonic, walking with the others, can see a blue-green glow on the horizon in the direction of the city. The glow grows brighter as they get closer, but the high city walls hide its source. Ravis taps Sonic on the shoulder. Go to the far side of the city, he says, and wait for our signal. We will attack in an hour. Sonic and his troops run off across the sand, leaving the army behind. An hour is a long time if you're waiting for something, especially in the dark. Sonic is sure that the time has passed, but he can't hear a battle. Could Galen's forces have captured the entire army? It's possible, he thinks. The blue-green glow is making him jumpy. Does Sonic give the order to attack, or does he wait?
You gotta be patient with this shit.
Alright, we will wait. Turn to 219. After what seems like an eternity, a bright flare explodes in the sky. One of the warriors hurls a grapple over the wall, and Sonic and his forces climb the rope and drop down the other side into the city. Sonic can see most of the cats running towards the gates where a tremendous battle is going on. The cats are bigger than Sonic remembers, and a lot of them are running on all fours. None of them have seen the sneak attack force come over the wall. Sonic looks around. Nearby, he recognizes the prison building that he escaped from. Further away, light streams from all the windows of the highest tower in the city, like a strange, unearthly beacon. Do Sonic and his warriors head to the prison, the gate, or the high tower? Ravis told us that he needs us to get the Chaos Emeralds.
So go for the emerald.
Alright, let's go to the high tower. Nobody stops Sonic and his companions on the way to the high tower. The streets are deserted, and the blue-green light from overhead casts an eerie pall over the city. There is only one entrance to the tower, a heavy wooden door reinforced with iron bars. It stands open, and Sonic and his friends slip into the hallway. There is no sign of anyone. There is a closed door here, and a stone staircase leads upwards. Sonic looks around, but all he sees are scratches on the stone walls, which look like claw marks, and 2 gold rings on the floor. He can take these. Should he and his companions open the closed doors or climb the stairs? That's how many rings? 2. So Sonic now has 37 rings. We can either open the closed door or climb the stairs. If I recall correctly, the emeralds are at the top of the tower.
Right, so we gotta go up anyway.
Yeah, so go up the stairs. 150. The stairs end in a steel door. Sonic grips the handle and can feel it vibrating as the door opens. Inside, the room is filled with bright blue-green light, coming from the middle of the room where the two Chaos Emeralds hang in midair, spinning round each other in a slow orbit. Gazing at them are two of the cat beasts Sonic saw in the city. They look around at the hedgehog. With a jolt, Sonic recognizes them. One is Galen, hideously swollen and transformed. His fur is now a lurid blue-green color. And the other is not a cat, it's a badger, number 1. Around the walls of the room are strange machines and odd equipment. Probes, readouts, computer banks, stabilizers, and transformers. On the far side of the room is what looks like a teleporter, although Sonic can't be sure. Galen bends to pick up a long metal pole from the floor. Grasping it like a club, he and number 1 move towards Sonic's group. What should he do? Run for the teleporter, 280. If Sonic has a net, use it to grab the emeralds. Grab the emerald in his paws or attack Galen and number 1. We do not have a net.
Well, then I guess our hands are tied.
Okay. Turn to 15. The emeralds are giving off so much heat and light that it's hard to even look at them. Sonic half closes his eyes and speeds across the floor towards the spinning, flashing shapes. Suddenly, 2 bolts of light street out from them, one blue and one green, and shoot across the room. If Sonic has more than 2 friends with him, turn to 295. If not, 163. We still have all 6 warriors, so we're going to go to 295. The 2 bolts of light streak over Sonic's head and into his friends, still standing by the door. They scream, clutching at their heads, and begin to change before Sonic's eyes. Their bodies swell and grow, new muscles bulge on their arms and legs, and their clothes rip and fall away. Within seconds, 2 different creatures are standing there. They snarl, gnash their new fangs, and dive towards Sonic. He must fight them. Sonic must use his strength to fight off these mutated chaos creatures. They have a rating of 7 each, but Sonic can add 1 point to his roll for each of his friends who haven't been mutated yet. If he loses a life, cross it off his vital stats. Okay. So we still have 4. So it's a strength of 3 plus 4 plus our dice roll. So it doesn't even matter what we roll. We still beat the rating of 7. Four, so that's 11, and 6, that's 13. We beat them.
Okay.
See, if he beats his former friends, he can either keep going towards the emeralds or fight Galen on number 1. Keep going for the emeralds.
Yes.
187.
We must receive our emerald.
The emeralds. Sonic races towards the emeralds. Galen and number 1 step into his way, their arms outstretched to grab him. Sonic puts 1 foot on Galen's arm and 1 on number 1's shoulder and leaps straight towards the emeralds. He hurtles between them and thwack, thwack, catches an emerald in each paw. They're scorching, his gloves are smoldering, and his paws feel like they're being roasted. Roll in his coolness to beat a 9. If he succeeds, turn to 122. If he fails, we gave Sonic a coolness of 2. So it doesn't matter what we roll, we're losing. So he fails. 82. Ouch! The emeralds are so hot that Sonic can't hang on to them for a second longer. He lets go and they spiral up towards the roof, spinning around each other. Sonic watches as they twist in weird hypnotic patterns, and he's completely surprised when Galen and number 2 jump on him from behind. He must fight them to survive. 239. Number 1 lumbers into the attack. Galen hangs back to defend the emeralds against the other threats. Sonic must use his strength to fight number 1, and he can add 1 point to his roll for every companion he has in the room. He will need their help, because number 1's rating is a massive 12. If Sonic is hit during the fight, roll the die. On a 1, 2, or 3, he was hit, and loses all his rings. If he has no rings, he loses a life. Cross it off his vital statistics and turn back to 21. Okay. So let's see. We're using strength. Sonic has a strength of 3. We have 4 friends. So we need to roll a 5 or 6. 6.
You sound so shocked. You're so cute.
I am shocked. I was half expecting it to be a 1.
We're not at work.
Actually, wait, no, we have 6 people. Because remember, we calmed down the other 2? So we have 6 friends. So yeah, we only needed a 3 or higher. See, if Sonic beats number 1, turn to 117. We beat number 1, so 117. Number 1 slumps to the floor, beaten. As he follows the Chaos Emeralds behind him spin faster and brighter. Bolts of brilliant blue-green light explode from them, shooting across the room. Roll the die twice and add the 2 numbers. That's how many bolts of emeralds fly. Why?
Because they can.
Every time you roll a 1, a blue bolt hits the Galen monster, increasing his rating, which starts at 10 by 1 more point. For every 5 or 6 that you roll, a green bolt strikes one of Sonic companions. A roll of 5 will be deflected by a contamination suit if the victim is wearing one, but otherwise, in a hideous few seconds, he mutates into a monster with a rating of 7. The moment the lights stop flashing, Sonic's transformed companions attack. He must use his speed to fight them off. He has 1 point for every roll for any unchanged companion he has. This is way too much fucking math and dice rolling. This is too much. We're 4. It only has instructions for 1, 5, or 6.
What did you dial?
4.
Okay then.
Oh no, I'm supposed to roll first for how many shots the emeralds fire. So 4 and 3. So 7 bolts. Roll the die once for each bolt. Every time you roll a 1, a blue bolt. 1. Blue bolt hits the Galen monster, increasing his rating. That's 10. Fuck it. No.
No. Fuck it, no.
Fuck it. No. We'll just use the strength to defend himself again. He could have one. Okay, so Galen has a rating of 8. We have a strength rating of 3 plus 6 warriors. That's 9. So it doesn't matter what we roll. We're winning. 3. There you go. We won. I'm sorry. Look, as much as I enjoy the watch hours, I don't want to spend half an hour on one fight.
Oh, come on, Jen.
No.
I love you. You're still.
If Sonic wins, turn to 39. Well, Sonic won, so we're turning to number 39. I never thought I'd have to cheat this much in a fucking book. Sonic grabs the pole that Galen was using as a club. Above him, the Chaos Emeralds are twisting and spinning faster and faster, and the light from them is so bright it hurts his eyes. Sonic can tell something really bad will happen if he can't stop it, but the emeralds are so hot he can't even jump close to them, let alone grab them. Does he use the pole to knock the emeralds together or apart?
Yeah,
Uh,
that's my answer.
I'm going to say apart. 213.
Okay.
Sonic swings the pole and knocks the green emerald as far as possible from the blue one. It hits the far wall and bounces to the floor. The blue one drops straight into Sonic's waiting paws. He can feel it is cooling down already. He dashes over to pick the green Chaos Emerald. Turn to 122. Okay, so that was the right move. With a cooling Chaos Emerald in either paw, Sonic glances over his shoulder. The creatures mutated by the emeralds are shrinking and sliding back into their normal forms, and Sonic is sure that they'll be okay in an atmosphere untainted by chaos. He dashes to the teleporter and leaps under it, but there is no bright light or Faz noise. Sonic looks desperately across to the other side of the room where his friends are standing. How do I get this thing to work? He shouts. Kick it! Comes the reply. Sonic gives the machine a good boot and Fazam! He appears in midair and tumbles a few centimeters, landing on something soft. Ugh! Gruff! It goes. Sonic picks himself up. Tails! He exclaims. What are you doing here? I got here about 5 seconds ago, complains the fox. I've had an adventure with ice and a robot shark and monkeys and a giant fridge. Am I a real hero yet? Not yet, says Sonic. Unless you can do better than these. He shows him the 2 Chaos Emeralds, then looks around him. Where are we anyway? They are in a small room with bright white panels on the walls. In one corner lie 2 gold rings, which they can take. There is a single door which, as they watch, slides open. Someone steps into the room. It looks like a human being covered completely in silvery metal. I'm going to give both of those rings to Tails because he has 0 right now. And with that, I'm going to call it here.
Okay, because I gotta do dishes and shit.
Yeah. So, last section, 122. And we will see you guys next time. Adios.